check it out. Have a great week, guys. Blessings.
Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
You're kings and queens. Hi everyone, we're back today with you with virtual kisses, and today I brought my friend Elsa. Elsa's here again with us to join us on talking. Our topic would be about loving people where they're at. Now, this is a big struggle for most people out there, especially when you get into like fights and disagreements. Could be on anything, but how do you take the time to just love people? So I'm going to hand this over to my good friend Elsa.
Thanks, Tanya. So you guys see the title, Loving People Where They're At. Just making a quick click to making sure this is live. It's live. Okay, great. So yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us on Saturday afternoon. And hopefully you got some shopping in, some necessary, essential shopping in, and having time with friends and whatever. And thanks for taking time out of your day to just stop in and watch and hear what we have to say. So yeah, so why this topic? Well, this topic was literally, it's one of the reasons for myself is because every time I opened up my Facebook or social media, I was just seeing a lot of my social circles, like they were argumentative, I guess I would say. I'd say that it seems like fuses are short. That's all I can say about that. So I'm noticing that. As I'm reading like friends' profiles and posts and things, and it seems to be like there's a shortage, like really short fuses. And I understand that we're in tense times and there's pressure from all around and everything. And maybe because of that, we've got a lot less grace for people. So kind of thought this was like a good pertinent topic for right now to visit this. And maybe I can share from my own book as to how do I deal with that, especially when I'm lacking grace or if I'm under pressure situations. How is it that I can still, have love and have grace for other people to be just themselves? Like, it's not like these people are being more, anal, or they're like angry, or they're just being themselves. But as now it's like, because of all the pressure, it's more like I'm more irritable, or I'm more like easily offended, and I think for myself, it's just a sign. If I get like that, it's like my number one, like, oh, take a break, back up. Why are you so triggered? Why are you so, irritated? Why are you so agitated? To me, it's a sign that there's something out of order in me. And maybe I need to seek that peace, and for me, it comes from within. It comes from my walk with God. So I need to take that time to get filled up again with God, get back into his presence, which is always going to be a lot of my answers. But, I'm going to try to give a little bit of a how-to and a practicality, because this is literally how I live. I live in a situation where, like, I wasn't very much impacted by all the isolation and the quarantine measures, all that kind of stuff, because we're already in shared households here. So we went through the whole filing down period where you have to get used to being around people all the time and being in each other's spaces. It would be likened to like if a couple all of a sudden, one gets retired or they both get retired and all of a sudden they're around each other all the time. There would be irritabilities rising. There would be like things that, would be annoyances, or, like you weren't used to having to be around that all the time. So now it's like adjustments. And that's what I call it. I call this as like an adjustment period, and the whole world is in an entire adjustment period. But just because we're in an adjustment period, or just because people retire and come back home, I don't think it's an excuse to bully. I don't think it's an excuse to shame. I don't think it's an excuse to like, to injure one another's hearts. Like, why? In the long run, when we get over this hump, and we are going to get over this hump, but once we do, you're not going to want to look back and be totally ashamed of how you behaved like a total ape, like, I mean, we are people with hopefully social skills. and like the ability to love others, and maybe just like asking for more compassion on your own heart. So instead of jumping to conclusions and trying to correct somebody instantly, like you can, because now we're on heightened awareness, and you're going to notice things that are irritating you. So instead of maybe going, that's irritating me, and why are you doing that, like maybe instead of doing that, like close your mouth and just go in and just go, okay, why am I getting irritated? And like, and if they are doing something that's maybe out of character, like maybe flashback, and instead of measuring that person on the one time that they acted like that, like once you try to remember all the good times and all the reasons why you're friends, or all the reasons why you're close to sisters or brothers, or all the reasons why you still choose to have them in your community. Like, there's a reason why you still choose to be around each other. It's not like it's an abusive, toxic relationship. If there's something good to like recover from this community, then maybe just stop and ask and just go, okay, God, like, why can you show me why that person is acting that way? And try to put yourself in their shoes, like try to consider maybe the pressures they're going under. And because if you're going under pressures, they're coming under pressures. So I would just say, like, that's kind of a way that I help myself and my children navigate. If we're starting to get like irritated, or I notice they're getting irritated, they're getting short fused, they're having no grace, they're lacking patience or lacking kindness, because the first thing out of your mouth is meanness, right? And that's so easy. Like, it's so easy to be unkind, and it's so easy to be mean, so easy to fly off the handle and be angry, right? It is a lot harder to take pause, press a pause button, and just go, whoa, check. Okay, why am I feeling this way? Or, checking on your kids and saying to your kids, okay, I'm noticing that you're short fused, and, you don't have patience for your friend. Like, what's going on with you? Is there something I can help you with, talk you through? Is there something you're going through? So, that's my thing. I'd say, like, try to maybe reach out to somebody who you trust, as to be people you trust, people who have your back. Go to them. Like, maybe you're struggling and you kind of need an outside perspective and somebody's outside view into your situation to help you see a little more clearly through your muddy waters. And then you'll be less attracted to like shooting your guns full barrel at your neighbor or at your friend, or at, other people that are ticking you off because they can't follow the arrows on the, I don't know, maybe they're like nearsighted or farsighted, or maybe can't see the arrows. I don't know. But, like, just to have grace and have patience and try to practice loving your neighbor. So I was kind of random, kind of babbled that all, but I will pass it back to you. And you can take it from there, Tanya.
Thank you, Elsa. So, yeah, that's great. Like, the points that you've made about okay, stepping back and seeing, okay, there's something maybe about me. So, going off of what she said, it's for the same reason for myself. I love Jesus, and I really want to know the heart of other people around me. So when conflicts or something like that try to come into my life, or around me, or people have their own stuff, and it feels like it's being put on you, I tend to do the same. I tend to step back and say, okay, God, if I'm feeling that I want to at the person, I kind of step back and say, okay, God, what is it about me? What could I do? And then sometimes it would be just to give the person a listening ear. I noticed in times of loving people, I would sit back and hear where they're coming from, and try to, like Elsa was saying, try to understand why do you feel that way? And then maybe that's just it, is just to give them a listening ear so that they get it off, whatever they're feeling in their hearts out. And sometimes in the end it feels great for them to do that. So just you being there and comforting and encouraging, and just just being there for them gives them that opportunity to get whatever steam off. Now, if it's bothering me, that, like, say whatever they're doing, let's say, hi Amber, how are you? Nice of you to join us. Sorry, guys. So anyway, sorry, Amber. Sorry, everybody. I got lost in my translation. I'm trying to talk about it.
You're saying if it happens to you, so if you find that you're the one getting irritated or agitated.
Yes, that's
Okay,
right.
so yeah.
So if I'm feeling irritated and agitated because of somebody, that's when I kind of look at myself, like, why? Like maybe they said something that I didn't appreciate, or they're acting weird and I didn't like it, but I never thought to step back and say, maybe they just wanted to make me laugh, or maybe they're just trying to show a funny side of themselves to me. I never really thought of that. I just thought, it would be like, oh, they're irritating me. So the key for me would be to step back and say, what if they are doing something to make me laugh, or to I don't know, just to show a different side of them. I don't know. But the key thing for me, like I said, is stepping back, whether it's myself getting irritated or somebody coming at me being irritated. I do the same and find out what is God like in the midst of that. So that's how I would handle it. And if you guys have anything that you want to share, drop it in the comments below, because we would love to hear how you would handle stressful situations, or, how do you love somebody where they're at? Especially when it's, people are kind of angry or upset, or, another example is what Elsa was saying with kids. Sometimes like my kids don't really fight. They don't really fight a lot, but I do see them, especially my oldest sometimes picks on the youngest. And sometimes I would have to kind of coach my youngest to say, how not to have that put into your heart. Like, even though they think that way, it may not be that. Try to, it's not block it, but try to see their point of view and why they were like that towards you. So yeah, for kids, you can do the same. You can coach your kids into how to see through God's eyes, or see through the heart of love towards others, even if they're angry or if they're upset. And anyways, yeah.
So, let's share like a quick example. I know we're at 12 minutes, but like our last video went for 15. So do you have like a quick example, maybe a recent one since COVID, where you found, like you were kind of more irritated real easily, and what did you do personally? So as a testimony, so we can kind of share our processing too with the viewers.
Okay, so for me, I'm trying to think. It's been a while. Okay. I have my oldest. He likes to try to push my buttons by debating me a lot on trivial topics that sometimes I'm not interested in, but he is, right? So through my at first I was like, in my mind I'd be thinking, I don't want to listen to this. This is nothing that I don't want to listen to. And he would keep on saying, I'm right. It comes out of him like, I looked it up. I'm right. It's 100%. And there are times it's like, well, and then I'd question and he'd growl up, and I question some more, or he'd question me some more. And there's this debate going on. We're to the point where it's like, it's not going nowhere. What am I supposed to do? So then eventually, as I grew into it, God was showing me that it's just best to just listen. Listen to where he's coming from. Listen to what he found out, a discovery that in his world, a discovery that he found was fascinating, and all he wanted to do was share it to me. And all I needed to be in that moment was to be patient with him. So I learned really quickly that, you know what, they have opinions, they have excitements in them, and it's good for myself to just, anybody to just listen. And listening, having a good listening ear, especially, like I said, with children, to teach them that way for school, or teach them when they're out and about to, first it starts with you, and then show them how to walk that out. So,
Right.
yeah, Elsa, how about you? Do you have anything that you recently for yourself got irritated, and
Yes.
how did you cope through it?
Yes. No. Okay. So, okay. So, like, I mean, Tanya can attest to this. Like, I still am journeying through, well, let's call it road rage. But you know, like with people cutting you off and just driving like morons. So I just have to be like, I remember I'd like catch myself because like my kids would be there listening to me as I'd get angry because these people were like being so inconsiderate, and I'd just be like, oh, I don't want to say something, and then right away I'm like, bless them. Like I'm trying to move in this opposite kind of action, right? Like so, you know, where somebody maybe has been unkind to me or inconsiderate towards me doesn't mean I need to be that way to them, right? Like I've got control over my own reactions and my own responses. So that's kind of what I do. I'm trying to default from reactions into response. And so that's what I'll do. I'll just be like, you know, it's in the tip of my tongue. Like instead of saying idiot or moron, right? I'll be like, bless them, right? And inside of me, I just like, oh, I want to say something else, but I won't. So, you know, it's really is practicing self-control. But another one was just recently. So during COVID, like we finally, we haven't been going out a whole lot because my parents are in their like 60s and 70s. And so I am aware, I want to consider everybody around me. So we have purposely like stayed home a lot more. But, you know, we did go out recently because I had to mail something and pick up my computer and all this. And so the nearest mail place was at the mall. And I had not been to the mall at all since this whole thing.
Oh,
So
the mall.
yes, at the mall. You would have loved it. Well, kind of. So we went in there. And there are the arrows, right? There's arrows in the mall. I actually throughout the whole mall, not just in the stores, but in the actual mall. So it's supposed to be a one-way traffic, one way this way, and then one way that way. And nobody's listening to the arrows. Like nobody's listening. So I was just like, man, like what do you do? So I'm with my, like, this is the first time I kind of took my kids out with me. So usually it's just me. I'll go out, quickly get groceries and come back home. Well, last time I brought my kids because I was like, hey, you guys, I might as well see what it's like out there. So they're with me and we're walking and there's like the arrows and we're following the arrows. Like we're like, we know how to follow rules. So we're following the arrows and there's people coming right across towards us. Like I don't even know why they're going towards us because they're not even trying to get to the store beside us. It's just people trying to get close to people for no good reason. Like maybe they miss people, but they're like making a beeline for us, and we're like, you know, running ahead, like social distance, please, right? So, so we had to practice this whole thing like instantly. I know that we are wired to judge. We're wired to, you know, not, I don't think God made us that way. I think it's habits we've picked up where we can like criticize and find everything wrong right away. And so right away we're like, what's wrong with them? Can't they read? Like, what's the problem, right? And afterwards we're like, okay, wait, you know, wait, maybe this is their first time, or maybe, you know, they don't understand what the arrows are for, or like, you know, whatever. Like maybe they haven't kept up to date with media. And so kind of trying to put ourselves into their shoes and just trying to be forgiving and try to be understanding. And meanwhile, we just take care of our part. We can just do whatever we can do, right? So as long as, you know, we have control over that. And so even like me, I could not fly off the handle and turn around and go, screw you, you know, like I had to be like an example to my children. So, you know, even we're in the line up the postal and the person, like there's circles, right? To social distance. They're standing before the circle towards my kids, like, because we're right at the circle and they're in between the circles, standing right there behind my kids. I turn around, I stare at them, and I'm like, God, give me grace, right? Give me grace. So, you know, I just told my kids to come in beside me, and you know, we just have to trust. That's one thing. Like we just have to trust that okay, we're okay, we're covered. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna wash our hands and do all that stuff. And it's not like we're hugging the people, so whatever, like, you know, but you know, I think it's just that. It's just like changing our defaults from reaction into response. And how can we respond in a way that you would love people to respond to your own children, or you would love people to respond to your parents, you know? And it's with a culture of honor, right? And it's a culture of respect, and just a mutual honor, mutual respect. And some people, you know, they were not raised in a household where they were taught how to do this. So we can't put that expectation on other people that have never been taught how to socially be around other people. Like maybe they just never were taught. So it's up to you to even be that example. So
That's so good.
yeah, so
I'd like to
that's my
read,
2 cents.
sorry guys, but I'd like to read something that Amber posted. She said, "That's what I've learned over the years, to just listen and be patient. Show that you're show that you're paying attention or interested into what they are talking about." So good. That's right. Just to pay attention, and what we were talking about earlier, prior to Elsa's little thing at the wall.
My little rant.
Yeah. But to be patient and try to pay attention. That's so good. That's right. We need to do that in our society to some, and yes, and hear what other people have to say, and not be angry at their opinions or what what they think that is good, right?
Yeah.
So if any of you out there too have anything else you like Amber wrote down, please comment below. We'd love to hear it. And not just us, but our community would love to hear what you have to say, because whatever you guys have, we'd like to collectively take a look at it and glean from one another and learn from one another, so that we can take this to our homes and into our families, and when we go out, and so kind of like our society would be a little bit better in these areas.
And
So
I do believe too that like the whole law of attraction, where just depending on what kind of energy we're releasing, we can attract that energy. So if any of you are actually getting surrounded by strife and getting surrounded by like division or people attacking, trying to do arguments around you, look at yourself and just try to say, okay, how can I release some positive energy? How can I release a different kind of thing and attract more positive energy towards you? And that's that whole thing about setting an example, or choosing maybe not to go to your default anger pattern, being quick to anger, right? And, like what Amber and what Tanya said about listening, taking that time to listen. Like, I've heard it said, we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So, maybe taking double time to like listen and be slow to speak and be slow towards anger. So, yeah. So anyways, I think this is good. We've hit, we doubled our time mark here. We're at 21 minutes, 22 minutes. So I think we're going to close it off here. Did you have anything to add before I close things off?
Not quite right now, but Amber does. I also love as to what Elsa is saying about being out in the community and her input on it. So she did like what you had to say too, Elsa.
Yeah, because you know what? We can't live in a cave forever, right? We got to be around people. So how do we navigate this world?
You're welcome, Amber. Thanks, Tanya. Greatly appreciate it.
So thanks everyone. Thanks for all your input, and thanks for taking the time out of your Saturday to like just stop by and watch and even listen to what we have to say about these topics. And we really hope and pray that everything is going well with you guys, and that that these tips are going to help even with how to navigate and how to stay positively charged and keeping our minds and hearts healthy during this time, so that we can all come out together healthier and stronger and better.
Right.
Like linking arms, right?
Yeah.
So we just do that. Yeah, linking arms. Oh, I don't know how to do that from the video, but yeah, linking arms from the video. Lovely. We will get this eventually.
Eventually. It's like opposite in these videos. It's so weird.
Exactly. But thanks again. And from our households to yours, bye from Virtual Kisses.
Bye everyone.
And you'll have to hit the stop.
Bye guys.